Hello, everybody, and welcome to Aftersight, the podcast that is sponsored by Audio Information Network of Colorado. And I am your host, Penn Street. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest. She is my granddaughter, Olive, and Olive is going to tell you a little bit about herself. But I thought it would be interesting and that the audience would be interested in learning a little bit about a granddaughter who has a Nana that is blind and visually impaired. Olive, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Olive, and I have a little brother, Wes, and he's very annoying sometimes. And I have an awesome mom and an awesome dad.
Aw. How old are you, Olive?
8.
But you're almost 9.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Wes?
3.
3. Yeah, there's a big age difference between the... Do you think it would be easier if you were closer in age, or do you think it wouldn't matter? Would he still be annoying?
Yeah.
So, Olive, I've known you your entire life, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
What are some of the positive things about having a Nana that can't see very well?
You can shove stuff in front of their face and they can't say stop.
That is true. I don't mind when you shove things out the end of my nose, so I can actually maybe see them. Not all the time, though. What are some of the other fun things about having a Nana that can't see very well?
She has awesome guide dogs.
Yes, you do like my guide dogs. Because Boo, I had white Boo, who was a big white standard poodle when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How Bay.
Yeah, now I have Beethoven. Yeah, and when you were a baby, because you loved Boo so much.
I have a stuffy Boo.
You do have a stuffy Boo. You were sad when we had to leave, and so I found white standard poodle stuffies, which for those who do not know what stuffies are stuffed animals. So I gave one to you, and you still have him. You've had him for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I still have him in my room somewhere. It just will take a while to find him.
Because you have a lot of stuff in your room.
I have loads and loads of stuffies, too.
Yeah, that's one of your favorite things. Are there any negative things about, like bad things about having a Nana that can't see?
She has to come really close when you're doing something fun.
Yeah, like playing games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She works a lot.
I work a lot. Well, that's not because I'm blind or visually impaired. That's just because I work a lot. So does your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does.
Let's see, another thing.
What about reading you stories?
Sometimes Beethoven scares me.
Yeah. When he's trying to play with you, play rough.
No, when he like when you accidentally step on him, he just if he's laying down and you step on his tail, he jumps up.
Oh, jumps up really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She can't read me stories, but that doesn't matter because she tells better stories.
What? That's a nice compliment. I feel like that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
You can't think of anything? I mean, we still do stuff like we go for walks and paddleboarding, camping.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Negative, but I can think of a lot of other things positive.
Well, what are some more of the positives?
We get to have a lot of fun. I got another set of grandparents.
Yeah.
They originally only had 2. Then Pop and Granny got divorced. So
yeah.
I got a Nana.
And
I also like that she comes and hangs out with us a lot. I mean, like how we can, and I like that we get to do a lot of fun stuff when she's here. And that's it.
That's it? Yeah, and I know you have told your friends about having a Nana who can't see very well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do your friends think that's cool or that's weird?
I think it's weird, but they think it's cool that I get another set of grandparents because normally you only get two.
That's true.
Normally your parents, like your dad has mom and dad, and your mom has mom and dad. My mom gets two moms and two dads, so I get two grandmas and I get three grandmas and two grandpas.
That's right. That's right.
Grandpa Bob died.
Yeah, Grandpa Bob died, but yeah, that's true. That's true. And we're hoping, we were talking about superheroes yesterday, and I told you I was a superhero.
Yeah. She can ski blind.
Yeah. What else can I do?
You can rock climb.
Yeah.
You can use what's it called? Surfboard. You surfboard.
Yeah. In Hawaii. Yeah.
You surfboard.
Do you think that's?
You get toys for us.
Yes, I love shopping for you.
She gets awesome llama stuffies.
So pretty much it doesn't matter that I can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe when you start learning to drive, I won't be able to help you do that. Maybe.
Pop-Pop can, though.
Yes. Yep.
So you can, like, be in the car and give some tips, and Pop-Up can actually do the teaching.
You're going too fast. Mm-hmm. Oh, probably. That's what I used to tell your mom when she was learning to drive. Slow down, you're going too fast. And she'd be like, how do you know you can't see? I was like, but I can feel it. Your mom actually scared me when she was learning to drive.
Oh.
Because she would go too fast. Or I thought she was going too fast. But do you know any other?
That one time you drove and Pop-Up was freaking out about it.
Yeah, he was trying to teach me how to drive and he didn't like that I was going. He does that with me with skiing, though. Because when he's guiding me skiing, if he's in front and I'm following him, he goes so slow. But if he's in behind me and just like telling me when to turn, I go so much faster.
I feel like when nobody's directing you and telling you what to do, you feel free, and then when they're doing it, you feel the opposite.
Oh, that's that's true. That's probably like even just being a kid, right? Like when you have somebody telling you all the time, like, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way.
Yeah, and it's same with math, my math homework, because when my parents were kids, they did math differently, and so I do math differently than they do, and they always say, well, you got to do it this way because this is how I was taught. Like, you do it this way, you do it that way. This is how I'm going to teach you.
But you feel free.
But I do it different you.
Like you feel free.
But then when they're not helping me with math, I do it a lot faster.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's not directing you or in front of you or something, you feel like you can like do it yourself and like you do better by yourself. But when you're not doing it by yourself, I feel like you're just like people are like the boss of you and they're telling you what to do and they like don't care that you want to do this because it's the way you learned. Like with snowboarding, when I'm snowboarding, because I'm not very good at it, because I started snowboarding last year, so I've been a skier most of my life. I started snowboarding, and my dad's my dad's in front of me, but he's on skis because my brother's on skis. And so he's like in front of me, like turn this way, turn that way, turn this way, but I'm not very good at turning because I had just started. Yeah. So it's like when my dad's on skis, it's really hard for me because he's like directing me and telling me what to do because he's really good at snowboarding, but he's on skis, so he can't show me how to do it. That's why I like my mom teaching me because she can actually show me because she's better at snowboarding than skiing. Yeah. So it's a lot easier when my mom teaches me because I can actually see how to do it. But when you're getting told to do something, you do it the wrong way, and then they get really mad at you. But then when they're doing it for you and teaching you how to do it like the way they were taught, and like they're doing a demonstration for you, it makes a lot more sense to you because you're like, when they're talking to you, you're like, well, this is how they're telling me to do it, so this is how I'm going to do it. Or this is how I hear it, because sometimes you hear it differently. So you do it how you hear it, and then when they actually then you do it, and then they're like, no, that's the wrong way or something. But when my mom's doing it with me, because she's on her snowboard, she would turn and show me how to do it, and like, you're gonna go heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, and that's going opposite ways on your snowboard. But
so it's easier to learn if the other person is also doing it with you. That makes sense.
Because they're showing it like, this is how you're going to do it. But when you're hearing it, you're like, well, this is how I'm going to hear it, so this is how I'm going to do it. But when they're showing it to you, you're like, this is how I see it, so this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But they're making sure like you can see how they're doing it. And then but when I'm doing math, they do the same thing, like I said. But they like do it, and they're like, but that's not the way, but I say like, that's not the way I do math, because I do math differently from them.
Yeah, that's true. So it is kind of like so it doesn't really matter if you're a kid or you're an adult when you're trying to learn how to do new stuff. It depends on the teacher and if you can relate to the teacher. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I often think about when I'm learning how that I have to do different stuff, because I have to do stuff differently too. Like my computer like talks to me, and it's like, or it's like magnified, like the screen is really, really magnified, so it looks different. And then when somebody gets on it that they can see it, like they don't understand it. They're like, I can't do this. And I say, I know, but this is the way I have to do it. So it's kind of like being a kid. Like, because when you're learning new stuff, you're learning it differently. Because math is different now than it was when your parents were kids learning it. Same thing with snowboarding. Snowboarding's very different now than it was. The equipment's different.
But when I'm in math with my teacher, like when I'm doing math, we do a different unit every time. Like it's December and it goes to January, we start a new unit in January of like math or reading. When you start the new unit, like you don't get it at all, because you're like, well, I just started this. Like when I first started times in 3rd grade, I thought, well, this is impossible, because we had been doing math most of the year, so I'm like, this is really hard and I don't get it. But then, like, they're moving into harder levels of math. Like, you're doing it, like, the beginning level is, like, 2nd grade math. So you're like, oh, I totally get this. I can solve this really quickly. Yeah. But when they're, like, doing, like 3,533, and then, like, they expect you to do, like, times, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, I don't get it. Because, like when you're moving up in math, you're like they do like from ones to hundreds and hundreds to like thousands, and I'm like, and then like you do it and you're like, well, I get like this thousands thing, but then like you get like this 1,000 plus this 1,000 equals this 1,000, but then when you're doing minus, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but do you see? It seems like you have figured out that when you do learn something new, then once you kind of understand it, then it becomes easy, and then that kind of builds on the next thing that you have to learn. Yeah.
But when we do math in our journals, my teacher, Miss Jen, says, well, this is how you're going to do it, but since we do like 2 similar problems, like we do like 7 plus 6, then she does like 8 plus 9, and it's like 8 plus 9, but they're like really similar numbers because they're like really close, so you're guessing like they're probably pretty close numbers for the equals. So she expects you, like, why should you like redo the problem? You just did the problem, so you can just add on to that other problem.
Yeah.
So like this is the like 7 plus this equals this, obviously, and then they say like 9 plus this equals this, like 9 plus this, but you don't know what it equals. And my teacher, Miss Jen, just says, well, you should like do it because you just did a really, really similar problem. Yeah. So the answer's probably going to be really close. So you can kind of just do like work off of the other one because it's
similar.
Because 7 plus 5 and then 9 plus 8, they're pretty similar numbers. 8 and 7 are really similar numbers.
Yeah, they're just one apart, right?
Yeah, so you well, if this equals 7 plus 7 equals 14, so you're thinking, well, 6 plus 7 probably equals 13. But then when she does it with you, you're like, oh my gosh, it's a whole different number.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You think of it like this, but when you this plus this equals this, but when it's easier with 6 plus 6 equals 12.
Yeah.
And 6 plus 5 equals 11. That one's really easy because you're just minusing 1. That's what I like to do. I'm like, well, this plus this equals this. So you're, instead of having to count again on your fingers,
so it's
you already counted on your fingers and you already know that equation, so just minus it and there's your answer.
Yep, problem solving. So that's what we've been playing Yahtzee on my phone, and since I've been over the last few days, and one of the reasons that's awesome is that, one, you're really good with math, but it's been really fun playing. I prefer playing it on my phone with you because I can see it, right? Mm-hmm. So because I can hold the phone up to my nose. Where last night as a family we were playing the board game, the regular Yahtzee with the dice and the paper, and it was really, really hard for me because it was hard to see the dice, it was hard to see the paper. So it's been fun playing Yahtzee with you, and you've got, every time we play you get better, and now you beat me. What was the other game that we played? Scrabble, and I loved that Scrabble game, and normally I don't like playing Scrabble because I can't see, but because it's a youth version, like a children's version, everything's bigger, and I don't understand that. Why do they make kids versions bigger, larger print, and they make adult versions small print? Why do you think they do that?
I think it's because you're an adult, so you're well, you can spell bigger words. When you're 5, you can spell the and stuff, but when you're grown up, you can spell awesome.
Oh, and so you need more room, so you make everything smaller. Is that why?
Well, and also for grown-ups, it's easier to spell for them because they've written those words over 1,000 times. But for the kids, they've only wrote it 5-year-olds don't write stuff very much because they're just going into kindergarten. So their Scrabbles are really big letters, so they can think, oh, there's crocodile, the word crocodile on it. There's crocodile. But then, if you, see the word and you can't really place it, there's the picture right next to it. So, oh, there's a picture of a crocodile, so the word's probably crocodile if you can't quite read or something. So, or, for the kids. I
still think it would be more fun if they made adult games like they do kid games.
Well, kids' games are supposed to be easier than adult games because adults know more about the game, know more to do the game, but then, kids don't know the game as well because they're, 7-year-olds play Chutes and Ladders, Candyland, and grown-ups are playing Yahtzee, Scrabble, and stuff. So you're oh my god, how do they do that? Because you're 7 playing kiddish games, and you're a grown-up playing really, really hard games. And when the kids look at the grown-ups playing their games, and the kids are playing their games, and they're how do they do that? Because you're really young and you don't really get the game yet. And also, for Scrabble, kids aren't very good at spelling at 5.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that makes kind of sense, but I still wish that they made all adult games larger, like they do with kids. It would make it easier for people like me who can't see very well. But you have always been so good about and being so helpful. Mm-hmm. I can't see at all at night, and so you've even when you were really little, you would grab my hand. He was so cute. You're still cute.
Yeah, Like that, I was so much cuter than Weston when I was 3, I was so much cuter than him.
What would you tell other kids that have nanas that can't see very well? What's your advice to them?
If I had a nana that couldn't see very well, and then I met a kid that couldn't see very well, I'd say either try instead of saying, well, I can't see very well, so I'm going to try to see better on my own, I'd suggest try to get some help with it, because normally if you don't see very well, you think of bigger word, if you had a really big lettered word for us, it'd be people who can see really well, a big lettered word for us would be smaller letters for Nana or something. So you should say I can't, you should tell your parents, well, I can't see that very well, could I have some help seeing it, instead of just trying to see it on your own.
So ask for help.
Sometimes if you can't hear very well or something, I'd say
because you have friends that don't hear very well.
Yes, I have friends, very, very good friends that can't hear very well, so they need hearing aids. I have 3 friends, Sammy and Stella and Javen. Mm-hmm. They can't see very well, so I think, well, you can't hear very well, so ask for help, or if you're on the bus, if you're on the bus if you're new in Telluride and you're on the bus and you don't know the stops, so you need to read the stops, but you couldn't see very well, for the bus, you couldn't you can't see very well, so and you're new, so you don't know where to get off in Telluride, but you can't see very well, ask the bus driver where, say it closer to the front and ask the bus driver, ask for help or something, ask the bus driver, where are we? I can't see very well and I'm new. So cause you don't, you just, or if you just moved to New York from, you moved to a city from if you were in Telluride, you moved to New York, you're and you can't see very well. You're oh, well, I don't know this place. My Rockies teacher, Devin, she lived here and she couldn't see very well. She was my mom's height. My mom needs glasses, but my teacher, Devin, would use contacts. Mm-hmm. So she'd do that. And she would do it, and then she just moved to New York because her whole family lives here. Yeah. But she just moved to New York a couple months ago, because when I went to Rockies, I was because it's kindergarten and up to 2nd grade, so I just got out because I'm in 3rd grade. Yeah.
It's kind of sad leaving Rockies, huh?
It was sad leaving Rockies, but my teacher Devin, I loved her but she started this year, but she was a teacher this year, and so I knew her for half a year. So I didn't know her for very long, but I loved her anyway. And then she's she's moving to New York before I'm leaving Rockies, and I'm because I loved her so much, I didn't want her to go, because other kid, when I'm leaving, other kids should be able to have as much fun with you as I'm so don't go. Aww. But she didn't anyway, because she
grown up smooth. Well, Olive, thanks for taking the time with us today and letting me interview you on your winter break from school. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience about your Nana? Are there any deep, dark secrets you want to share?
She says she's a vampire.
I do say I'm a vampire, don't I? How do you know I'm not a vampire?
Because you're not up all night.
I'm not up all night?
Yeah.
How do you know you're asleep?
Because I can tell you're asleep. I feel like when I'm asleep, I can tell, like if my mom snuggles me for like a really long time at night, I can, like, I'm asleep and I can tell right next to me, like if my mom's still in the room with me, I can tell my mom's asleep with me.
Like you can sense it.
Like I can, like.
So you can sense that I'm asleep in the other room.
I feel like everybody else in the house is sleeping, so like why would like.
But maybe I'm like a really like quiet vampire. And
well,
like,
I would think if you're a vampire, you'd be going around the house, and I'd probably hear that.
Well, maybe.
Like vampires are like vampires would either walk or fly, and if my Nana would at least fly, she'd bump into something.
That is true. Well, except vampires, because bats, they have sonar, and they don't bump into things at night because the sonar reflects off of the object, so they don't bump into it.
I would guess you'd bump into something now.
I don't have you fooled, do I?
Well, I know you're not a vampire because you've been saying that for like years. Like when I was young, when you were saying that, I'm like, oh, she's a vampire. And now I'm like, she's not a vampire.
She's not
like,
a vampire. I guess, okay. The truth is, I'm a vampire. All right, Olive. Well, I will keep telling you stories even when you get older, because I really like telling you stories. So, and I'm glad you think my stories are better than the ones that are books.
Well, they have more imagination than books because people edit them, and but when you write books, you could, if you were a book writer, the books would actually like when you read the book, you'd go like, oh, this is a really good book. But when people normally write them, they're normally like the books that I'm into reading, because I just started Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But my brother as well, I normally read him bedtime stories because I put him to bed a lot.
Yeah.
Since that happens, I'm normally reading Little Blue Truck books or something. So I'm normally reading baby books. I'm like, well, these are they can't, they don't put their imagination into these. They kind of just write them.
Yeah, that's true.
A really big, long chapter book would be a good book because they actually got to express themselves, put their mind to it. Let everybody know this is my imagination, and I'm not going to let anybody stop thinking about their imagination.
Yeah.
You just write the book and have, your full imagination in it or something.
Yeah.
But, when you, I when people tell me stories, I like that a little bit more because, they don't just retell, when my Nana's here, she doesn't, retell Three Little Pigs or, something like that. Every time my Nana's here, she tells me a whole different story.
Aww. Well, I love telling you stories. And when you were a baby, that was one thing that I was actually really concerned about. It's oh no, I'm not going to be able to read Olive's stories. And I could when you were really, really little, because the words were really, really big. But then as you got older, the letters in the book were smaller and smaller, and I just couldn't see to read it. And then a friend of mine told me about that. Well, quit reading books, tell a story. And so it was really awesome from the very, very beginning that you really liked my stories more than the books. So I thought that was really cool. And I'll keep telling you stories. So maybe now with Wes, you should start making up stories and tell him instead of reading in the Three Little Pigs for the 100th time. Or what's the one he likes? The blue truck? What's it called?
Little Blue Truck.
Little Blue Truck. Yeah.
I like when people, but I like when Nana tells her stories because she's not retelling stories, rereading stories.
Yeah. And I personalize them too. I put you in the stories and your friends and Wes, and I talk about Telluride, and so you just knocked me in the head. So.
But I like it because every time you read stories, every time you read stories and you really like the books, you just want to keep reading it, and you're well, I have to read. Or if you have lots and lots of books, but you really like reading books, you read all the books and you're well, I've already read, but you reread them because you read all those books and your parents won't get you other ones because they say, well, you have 1,000 other books, why do you need to get a new one? So you reread the stories hundreds and hundreds of times, so you rehear them. So but when like people tell you stories, it comes like out of their head, and they think, well, I don't want to tell. Like when my Nana's here, she always tells me different stories.
Yeah.
But like they're all out of her head, but none of the stories are the same. Like every time she comes, it's like like when Nana tells stories, they're like snowflakes. None of the snowflakes are all the same. But like with Nana, none of the stories are the same.
Oh, Olive.
None have the same. Like when she tells the stories, the only thing the same about the books, the stories that she tells us, is she's telling them, and so like every once in a while, me and Weston and my cousin are in them.
Yep.
And families in them, but other than that, the stories are different.
Yeah, I really like the thought of that the stories are like snowflakes. There's not any two the same. Well, I love you, sweetie, and I can't wait until the next story. All right, well, thanks everybody for listening to Aftersight. This has been a joy, and stay tuned for next week's episodes. And remember, you can always reach out to us if you know somebody who would like to be on Aftersight. And don't forget that there is life after sight.